Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm laughing at Bear's tail in the middle. I was just staring at it.
The dog.
Anyways, welcome back to Terminally
Balding. No, I'm bald.
Bald.
Bald, period.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. That's right.
Cheersies.
Still drinking
We
non-alcoholic
let's
beer.
not forget.
Only because I can drink beer now.
Can I try that?
Yeah.
Haven't I tried this?
It's, I don't know. I
Best
got so
Day
many gifts for
Brewing?
those things. Yeah, it's
Born in
it's a beer.
Northern
It's an
California.
IPA. Yeah, what's it called? Best Day Brewing.
I like the packaging. It's cute.
It's really good.
Oh my
The
God.
dog is licking my toes.
How this
It's-
how this man drinks these IPAs is beyond me. They taste like grapefruit. I hate grapefruit. I don't know how you do it.
Well, the thing about it, though, is I was given permission by the doctor I can start having beers. I can start drinking a little bit. So I think for the whole weekend, I had 4 beers for the whole weekend, and it just didn't taste right. I don't know. The beer didn't taste like it used to.
That's been happening to me too. Because I've been drinking almost 6 months because of my stomach stuff.
Yeah.
We shan't go into details, but basically I was having some very bad
Well,
issues.
I was thinking that's why we didn't have a podcast last week.
Oh, because I was sick? Oh, yeah. That's why.
No,
I
you
was
got a
out
new
sick.
job.
No, just kidding.
New job, and you were doing some things, and so we didn't do
I was
last week.
tired.
I was really impressed. We had I had 4 or 5 people text me and say, "Where's your podcast?"
I told him to post a statement on his Facebook, and he was like, no one's going to notice that we don't post. I'm like, Dad, people will notice. People watch this every week.
Okay.
And then he was all shocked that people reached out. I'm like, you have such, I was going to say Stockholm syndrome, but imposter syndrome, that you think people aren't watching this.
All right, I got some questions for you.
Okay.
I was wondering about these things. These are really important questions, and they're all about life. So we're going to be serious for a minute.
Okay.
Which do you prefer, peanut butter and jelly or ham and cheese?
This is one of the most important questions I've ever received in my
It is.
life. Okay, you said peanut butter and jelly or ham and cheese.
Yes, on a sandwich.
Obviously peanut butter and jelly.
I think most people do that. Take
Right.
peanut butter and jelly.
Question for you then, ham or turkey?
Ooh, ham every time.
What?
Yes.
Turkey.
Ham.
Here's the thing, is like ham's just too heavy sometimes. I like ham.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I just want something lighter, like a turkey. So I prefer turkey on my sandwiches.
And with chips, what kind of chips you like?
With
potato
my
chips.
sandwiches?
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm getting a sub, I normally lean towards nacho cheese Doritos.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. Mm-hmm.
But it depends on my mood. Like today I literally had a sub for dinner today from Publix. And I got the Zappos, it's like the Cajun dill ones. Those are delicious. Have you ever tried them? They're so, if you like dill, like pickles.
Well, I'm old
so
school.
good.
I either like cheddar flavored or regular flavored or sour cream and onion Lay's potato chips.
That's a good one.
They can have like the ridges like Ruffles.
You love Ruffles.
I do. We do.
You like
I love
tortilla chips.
I like those too. My favorite. What's your favorite food?
Okay.
I already know.
You should have prepped me with that kind of question because that like can take me like hours to even think about.
Just the name.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Do you like that? It's
Are you gonna say bento?
Asian. Yes, Asian.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I
Bento.
feel like this is giving like we're out of topics, but like we actually really just wanted to switch
Okay.
it up, and this
I
was
know.
his idea. But I
That's
think
true.
I'm interested in it. Okay, hold on.
Hold on.
It's besides favorite food, like favorite genre of food, like Italian, Mexican, Japanese food, Chinese food. Like, what's your favorite?
I like Mexican.
Okay, I could have guessed
That's why
that
I
from
married a
you.
Mexican girl.
Exactly. It all lines up.
Your mom never.
You like Mexican
She used to make some
food?
Mexican stuff, but her mom could make some great Mexican food.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
learn the traditional recipes.
She was
I feel
really
like
good.
Bea knows some of the good recipes.
The West Virginia lady who could make some great Mexican food. Anyway,
I had
it's
some really good Mexican food in Arizona because
Yeah.
I'm so close
Oh,
was so close to
yeah.
the border in Tucson. It was
Did you have
delish.
fun visiting your sisters?
I did. So I guess we haven't been on the. Well, I don't even remember the last time we recorded, Dad.
2 weeks ago.
We recorded 2 weeks ago. Like a lot's happened in 2 weeks. I'm tired. I've started working again after 6 months, and he laughs, but it's like I'm allowed to be tired. Thank you, because I haven't worked in a long time, and now I'm working again. I'm going to be working like 9 hours today. So.
Yeah.
Doing modules online. I was
Kick butt.
babysitting and also had a live training.
It does 2 things. It gets you paid and it keeps you out of trouble. So that's a good thing. All right, let's
So
go.
true.
All
So
right,
much
let's
less
go.
free time for me.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Okay.
Light blue.
Yeah.
But I also love a lot of colors. I love like a pale yellow.
Okay.
I love a light
Just
pink.
about. All right. Now you're gonna ask
I knew
me
you were
now?
going to get mad.
You're gonna go. Well,
I know your favorite color.
light
What's your
blue.
favorite color?
You tell me.
Black.
That is.
Yeah.
Black's my favorite
I mean,
color.
you're also wearing it today, so.
Yes. True.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite food then? You
I just
already
said-
have a favorite
oh.
food lined up.
Well, I grew up on hamburgers. So
Okay,
I like
wait.
a good
I don't even know why
hamburger.
acted like I didn't know that.
9 times out of 10, instead of a steak, I'll get a hamburger. Even though I get in a good steak place, I'll get a hamburger because I just like hamburgers. I don't know why.
Ground beef. Okay, so you like beef.
Yeah,
Okay.
beef. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. So you thought for my favorite food I was gonna say bento, but like you thought I was gonna say like Asian
Well,
food, like noodles.
yeah.
I really
That's
don't know. I love a lot of foods. You've known this since I've been a child.
Yeah, but
a
every
mere
time we
child.
order out food, you want bento.
That's true, but sometimes I want Chipotle, like sometimes I want Mexican food, sometimes I want sushi, sometimes I want kava, which is like Mediterranean.
Okay, let's change the
bowls.
subject.
He's
Let's
like,
change
I
the
don't
subject.
care, I'm bored.
Why are you dressed like you live in Minnesota?
Okay, do people in Minnesota wear camo? What do you mean? You should have said the South.
We're going to Minnesota in June.
You're more dressed like you live in
going-
Minnesota with that Prince shirt. Who's from
know.
Minnesota?
No, Prince is popular all over the world.
I
But
know,
we're
it
going
was
to
a
we're going to
joke.
Paisley Park in June.
I know.
We're gonna have fun.
We might have already said this.
All
on the
my
pod,
brother,
but
two
very
sisters, my
exciting.
brother-in-law, his wife, and Patty, and my sister.
It's gonna be
sister-in-law Carrie.
what a time.
We're gonna have a good time. I can't wait. I'm looking so forward to it. I'm probably gonna cry in Paisley Park.
You've never been?
I made a joke about it when I was 77. I told the story about when Elvis died. We were getting ready to go on vacation.
In 77, right?
1977. Elvis passed away, and my mom sat down and started crying like a baby. And so I didn't really. When Michael Jackson died, we were at Brittany's over in we were orientation in Boston University.
Was that then?
B's spot, and Michael Jackson died that weekend. And of course, I felt depressed, so I got my computer out, started downloading all his songs.
You know, people say, you know how everyone remembers if you were able, like me, I was one, so I don't remember, but everyone says they remember where they were when 9/11 happened and also
Yeah.
remember where they were when Michael Jackson died. Like, those
Yeah.
are like two very distinct like,
Same thing for
American
Prince.
experiences.
I was at lunch with my boss, having lunch, chilling out, and he's younger than me, and he heard, I said, I just got a text. Brian Schneider texted me. Brian Schneider texted me about Michael Jackson too.
You
He's
told
my
me
homeboy.
this.
And Schneider texted me. I was like, get out of here, man. He's rich. There's gonna be a lot of rich doctors there to making sure he lives and survives this. And he didn't. And of course, I go to the table and tell my boss, he's younger. He's 20 years younger than me, and he goes, so what? He's still got records you can play. I went, man, he don't have a clue. I literally left lunch and walked back to my office. Didn't even finish my lunch.
Yeah.
So depressing. I was like, golly.
It's so
man.
sad.
But right then and there, when Michael Jackson and him died, it struck me why my mom got so upset, because it reminds you of your youth. You know, those songs were so. To me, I listened to every album from both artists from start to finish. I listened to every song on the album. We'd put it on the player and let it play the whole thing. Each songs that weren't hits, we'd play the whole thing. And that's what Mom and Dad did when we used to play music all together. I've told the stories before, but so that was really cool. So anyway, I don't know where you even got this Prince shirt, but
All right, that one's cool. I've never seen you wear that.
yeah, this is from 1999. Great album. Y'all go get it. You know who it is. So
You know who it is.
anyway,
I was going to
so
say, I feel like that feeling really never goes away, because even me, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but thinking of artists who were near my age who passed away from whether it was medical complications or
Yeah.
diseases or
Yeah.
drugs, like
I know.
even like an actor had passed away last year and he was around my age too, and it's always weird.
Yep.
It always makes you reflect.
Sad.
So many,
Heartbreaking.
actually, I will say.
All right,
a lot are
let's go some
related
other
to
questions.
drugs and alcohol, though.
Vacation spot, mountains or beach?
Sorry, I'm laughing that you were like, okay, hard topic over, questions again.
Yes.
Mountains or beach? I actually was just asked this question, I think by B, when we were in Tucson.
Yeah.
And I said the answer is always going to be beaches. However, I do love the mountains. And
beautiful.
honestly, if I lived in the mountains, maybe I would change my answer.
It's beautiful. I love
But
going
I
to
love
mountains.
water.
Yeah, I love the beach. My favorite.
Yeah.
I love just chilling out, dig a hole in the sand, put my butt in it, and just sit there and watch the water.
But I guess
It's
now
so
I'm thinking,
great.
like, what if a mountainous area with like a stream or like a body of water?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
don't get me wrong. It's a cool thing to go see. But
Mountains
if
are
I'm picking a
gorgeous.
vacation, because we've done vacations in the mountains before.
That's true.
Colorado. When we went to Colorado, remember that family trip we did? And we got on that gondola going up the side of that mountain to go up to the top. We were going to play at the little snow area. And I remember looking down going, this is just gorgeous.
I wish I remembered that trip. I only remember one part, and it was me and you in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And
It was
the
snowing on my
snowflakes
head.
kept hitting your bald head, and I was laughing about it. But I was like 7 on that trip. Like, I still have the
Yeah.
shirt, and it's literally like this
Isn't that
big.
long?
Yeah,
Lord.
it was like 2007. Like,
Yeah.
I was 7 or younger. Like, I don't remember it.
Guess where I'm going tomorrow?
Where are you going tomorrow?
Auburn. I'll be in Auburn, people.
I forgot I was in Auburn this year.
Yeah, my golf tournament, the Sigma
You're in
Chi
enemy
golf tournament.
territory.
There's going to be 65 of us there. I'm not have a lot of time to hang out, but I'm going to try to visit some people if I can. But I'm going to be. We got a thing scheduled every day. But I'm going back up. Me and Steve Bronstein, my neighbor. I'm not joking with this. He's Jewish. We've been friends for 25 years. He's my running buddy. And I introduced him to Jay Stern, who's also a Jewish dude. And I laugh because they became buddies now. So now Steve goes, I'm going to go up and visit Jay. You want to go with me?
Oh, that's fun. I love when friends become friends with other friends.
I know.
I said that a million times. Friends.
No, I love it.
But you know what I mean?
We're going to fly up and drive over and see Jay in June. Into June, I think.
Oh, cool. So you're going to be back there very soon
back there.
then.
Yeah, we're going to go up on Thursday and come back on Sunday. Then I'll get to see more people. But anyway,
the annual golf tournament
tomorrow.
is this weekend.
Yes, it's this weekend. We're playing at the Robert Trent Jones course in Auburn, staying at the Marriott.
That's so fun.
So be fun.
I feel like it's so exciting. So you leave tomorrow, and then it's Wednesday through Sunday?
The tournament starts on Thursday. So we're driving up and get there tomorrow evening. So,
you're just going early for fun. To scope out the best courses. Yep. I don't know anything about golf, so
yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
Mini golf.
In fact, the guy that is in charge of the tournament this year, that's the chairman, is my guest today. We did an interview with him, and he did awesome. He's a younger guy, younger Sigma Chi than me, but he doesn't look younger than me. He actually looks older than me. Neal Nash.
Wait,
Mr. Neal
I didn't
Nash.
mean to laugh at that.
No, I'm joking.
Well, that's not nice.
I'm joking. Neal Nash. He's a good dude. I've got a lot of other podcast guests that have filmed, but we need to put them together and see how the
Some
order.
People want to redo them. Share more stories.
Yeah, they want to redo them. They didn't like the way they sounded. That kind of thing. But anyway, I'm looking forward to tomorrow on vacation, and you guys have a great weekend. We got anything more you want to say to the crowd since it's our podcast after not having one for 2 weeks?
I don't think so. I was just going to say we very strategically placed this guest with this week because he wanted to line it up with the golf tournament and he's the one throwing it.
We'll be playing golf on Friday. He starts.
Did you post your song on Facebook?
Oh, my song?
He made a song
It's Friday,
from his Friday Yo rap, and we will be making a music video and posting it.
We are going to do a music video.
Are we allowed to post it? Well, I want to post it to this channel.
No, you can't. The music and I did the words, all the lyrics I did, and the music is generated on an app. And even the guy that sings is kind of. But I picked the genre.
A robot.
You picked the genre and the speed of the song. I picked country, but it doesn't really sound country to me. It sounds more like country rock. The guy that's singing it.
It sounds more like modern country.
Yeah, it's Friday Yo. I love it. I love the tune. It's not even because of my lyrics on it. I just like the way it flows.
It just sounds.
And I'm a picky guy with songs and music. I am.
It's a good song, I'll say.
I like it.
But it reminds me of this very specific country that you like. That's why I think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I like all music. You know my favorite's funk.
Yeah.
And I did try to do a funk version of that, but it was more like disco.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like it. I know they did it. But anyway, we got to run. We're running out of time. So enjoy Mr. Neal Nash. We interviewed him, and you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
Wait, hold on. Sidebar. I will say in this episode, it is funny because he set it up all by himself instead of me, the sound coordinator, and the visionary coordinator. And their heads are kind of like right at the top like this. And he really should have pushed the camera up a little more. So I will say.
I know.
That is funny.
You're the producer.
Love you, though.
You're the producer.
I had to tell him on FaceTime, which I think we said in the last episode.
So,
anyways, we have to go. I have to go do more work upstairs.
Yes.
Yay. And he has to pack, and then we have to go night-night.
True. You ready?
All right, ready? Peace, love, funk, and roll. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
guys.
See you next week.
Have a happy weekend. Hey, what's happening, people? How you doing this evening? This Friday. Everything's going good. I hope you got a weekend coming up. I have a special guest. I don't know if you know him. Pretty popular guy. His name's Neal Nash. He's a young Sigma Chi. Well, he used to be young.
Used to be young. Not young anymore.
now he's a little older. How old are you, by the way?
I am.
I'm 61, so
I'll be 57 in August.
Oh, you are young.
And my oldest is 31.
When did you get your when did you graduate? Leave Troy?
So I graduated in 90. Got there in fall of 86.
Okay.
And of course, that was a great graduation year for the A to High chapter, including Jackie Mitchell. So you guys graduated that spring when I got there in the fall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to insult and embarrass myself a little bit. I graduated with Tubi, Wes. We all graduated that summer.
Okay,
So
all right.
we graduated at the end of the summer. Which Troy had a big, graduation in
summer,
Smith
right.
Hall. Yeah, I was shocked in the summertime. Patty, my wife, she beat me. She graduated in the spring. And she left me there, and I ended up rooming with Scott Marcus, and we got in trouble. We were partying like we shouldn't have. But hey,
well, now, were you at Anchor Splash that summer?
Yes. Yeah, we set it all up. Did you come?
I was at that Anchor Splash.
That is funny.
And I met Tubi there.
Yes.
I did not meet you there.
No, I don't remember meeting you.
I met you later. Yeah.
Tubi was such a big production doing that stuff, man. He would get in there and bust his butt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing him literally dig out the they put that creek water bed, and they put the plastic down and do that. He would go and dig that thing. He was a crazy man. Hey, you want to do a cheers, man?
We should do.
Let's do a cheers because we're drinking,
Deschutes Fresh Squeezed Non-Alcoholic from Bend, Oregon.
Is it Oregon?
Cheers.
This is
It
good,
is Oregon.
Man. With my experience,
It's good beer. Wow.
makes me not miss beer as much because it
good
tastes
beer.
just like.
I'm gonna have another sip.
Didn't it? Doesn't it taste really good? And you told me you recognize that. I'd never heard of it before, but all my neighbors and other friends are bringing by like cases of the non-alcoholic beer. So when I'm around you guys that drink, we went to Wes's house a couple of weeks ago, and we hung out. It was like 4 or 5. My brother Brad was here, and so we went over there and stayed with Wes. They played golf, and I just drove around the cart, and it cracked me up. So we go back to Wes's his patio, and they're drinking like crazy, and we cutting up. We're just playing drinking games. And I'm like going, I'll play, y'all. And they're like, you got to drink. I'm like, oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
And it's like drinking
You're just
soda.
getting full. Yeah, you're just getting full.
It's funny because I try to drink like 10 when I'm sitting there with them. It's like, this is wasted. This is a waste of time. But there's 0.05 of alcohol. So if I drink plenty of them,
you get there.
I drink 20 of them.
Got to drink it fast. I'm actually going out to Oregon in June for a nephew getting married, and I'm going to make a special trips to Deschutes.
Yeah, so they make a good regular beer.
They have got really good beer. A lot of good IPAs.
Yeah.
And I know you're an IPA guy.
I am. What's your favorite IPA?
Ooh, that's a tough call. There's a place in Massachusetts called Treehouse.
Wow.
And you can only get their beer there.
Yeah.
They don't ship it anywhere else. They don't have kegs in bars.
It's good.
And when you go there are literally people there with pickup trucks and trucks hauling U-Haul trailers, and they load it up and they take it with them. I've actually bought 2 cases, put them in a suitcase, and shipped them back to Chicago. Yeah.
What?
Good stuff. So Deschutes makes good beer, but any kind of IPA, a hazy, I like the hazies a lot.
Me too.
There's actually a brewery up where I live in Lake County, Illinois, called Phase 3 in Lake Zurich.
Yeah, that's
really good beer.
My favorite one I've ever had, and Brian Hill is a big guy on this too.
He's the master on IPAs.
Did he get in the shade with you?
He was 3 years behind me. I was his rush chairman.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian. You're not as old as I thought. No, but Brian, he sent me some of this, and I've had it before, but I love it. Out of Atlanta, it starts with what's it called? Oh my, cream. Let's see. I wish Brian could call in right now and tell us. He bought me a bunch of them. It's one of my favorites. Neal Starling brought it too because he lives up that way. What is it called?
Let's see. Terrapin's out of Athens, so it's not that.
No.
I know the one you're thinking of, and I believe the person that owns that brewery in Atlanta actually lives in Denver, Colorado.
The beer made it on the Thor, one of those movies. Remember that? It made it as a what do you call it? Cameo.
Okay, it was a cameo on the Thor movie?
Yeah, and it's funny because everybody talked about that from Atlanta because that beer was really good, man. I love that beer big time.
He'll let us know after the podcast what it was.
Yeah, so on the 21st, we're flying up to Duke University to do my scan on my brain, and the first thing we ask the doctor, no matter what he finds out from the scan, dude, can I start having beers again? And I'm hoping he says, yeah, go ahead, because I'm just have a couple here and there.
Right, and about 11 days, 11 days later, you'll see some people you know,
yes.
and you might want a beer.
Exactly. So I'm hoping he allows me to do that because I'm going to do it responsible.
Sure.
Patty's telling me to be responsible. So all right. So let's talk a little bit about your history with Sigma Chi.
Sure.
So you came in 1990.
86. Graduated in 90.
Right. So I was, I shared that little story about why we started the golf tournament. Did you see my write-up I did? And I was talking about.
I did.
We didn't work. It came from some of the the guys that were Jim Bradshaw or maybe Ken Johnson. Anyway, they were worked for the chapter, and they started about how they were. I don't remember exactly what it was. They were having some issues, and of course, Art Saunders got pissed off.
I saw his note.
Yeah, he read back. What do you mean? I was in school then. And I'm like, I don't really remember. I just remember sitting around with the older guys and like going, these guys aren't doing this, or we hear it all the time. They're hazing or something like that, and we want to go and straighten them out. So, we were at a wedding, and all the guys were like, hey, let's put it together. Well, my thought was, well, I'll get in charge. I'll do this thing. So I mailed out a letter, which I still have. In fact, it's in that thing right there.
Okay.
See that leaning against the wall next
I
to
do.
the dinosaur?
You pulled that book out when we were here about a year ago.
The first one that I mailed out the letter. So I just remember we went, because the meeting was on Sunday night still, and we went, somebody was going to stay. Nobody stayed. We all left. But that just started the golf tournament. But again, I don't know if it was anything that bad, or that, as far as what was going on. Every year there's
There's
issue.
probably always something going on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from that standpoint.
Sure.
And do you have any son or kids that were older that got initiated?
So I've got 4 children, oldest 31, son 28. Neither one of them are Greek, but my twins, who are both 24 now, were Sigma Chi's at Troy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
I think I met them before. I thought I
kind of
remember
cool.
that.
And being able to be with them through that experience was also very cool.
It is, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you enjoy the initiation? Was it similar to what you experienced before?
It was great. Yeah, it was really good.
I think when we got, the last one I went through was with Tim Pierce. If you remember Tim.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we initiated Tim, and I thought that was an awesome initiation as well.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. I know this is not ever going to happen, but, I was talking to some of the older guys that I thought, and I was talking about what the council speaks in the meetings.
Yes.
I'm not going to call it, but it's just such a moving thing.
Absolutely.
And I was talking to the brothers. I said, what we need to do, when we go to, as we grow older, and somebody dies, we should be able to have just the brothers in there and have somebody do that at the funeral.
Very moving.
It is very moving. I get chills thinking about it because it's just phenomenal. And anyway, so they were all agreed. They said, yeah, we should start that do it the right way.
It's funny you say that. Just saying that, talking about it, gives me chills.
Oh, man.
And every time you hear it, you get those same chills. And we'll do that here in a few weeks.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We'll do
for
that
sure.
in a few weeks, for sure.
It was such a moving when Brother Sean Peters, he was there. We were at the golf tournament, and Brother John Weekly did it for all of us standing out there, and I was just
on that 18th green.
And I was just, like I said, I get chills right now thinking about how great that was. So, a lot of the brothers growing up at the consuls, some of them were like awesome at doing that. And I always loved the end of the meeting when that would happen. You'd go through all this crap during the meeting you don't want to hear, but when they'd come out and do that, you know what I'm saying?
It all came, exactly. That was the great way to close the meeting.
Yes.
Made it all real and
it just was phenomenal. But the other thing that I was talking about, with the chapter is the fact that we, being gentlemen, was our thing. I mean, that
was a big deal.
We took pride in that, and I wish they would start standing up for the girls again that come into the house, because the girls love that.
Very respectful.
Yes.
Yeah, and you knew that early on that was what we did at Sigma Chi's at Troy.
I'm telling you right now, and I mean this wholeheartedly, there were some wild girls at Troy, and they had a reputation, and they were wild, and they knew it, but when they experienced that, they immediately changed their mind or attitude a little bit about how they should be looked at.
For sure.
They felt like they were being respected as opposed to being a wild girl. But, I mean...
And sometimes when you're, 17, 18, 19-year-olds coming into college, you're not thinking about that kind of thing, and older guys in the chapter are passing that along. It's a big deal. Yeah. It's a really big deal.
Yeah, agreed. Well, tell me, what was your favorite time, some experiences with the chapter?
Oh, my goodness.
Did y'all do the barbecue we used to do? Did you still do that? The barbecue where they'd sell do a cookout and sell it to raise money?
We did that the first year I was there. I think probably my biggest memories were pledge swaps, because those continued whether you were a pledge or a brother.
Yeah.
I think that, Greek Week was always a big deal. Certainly doing Anchor Splash in the summer. And I was Rush Chairman for 2.5 years, so I got to do a few of those.
Cool.
And that was rewarding. And I think also just how we showed up differently during the summer, pre-college orientation, when the incoming freshmen were coming in, and
Yep.
how we wanted to portray ourselves, and
Yep.
the amount of pre-college orientation leaders we had that were Sigma Chi's or Trojan ambassadors, whatever it might be,
Yep.
where there's a lot of visibility to what we did. And we had to be careful. They didn't want you, recruiting, if you will,
Right.
at those events. But
Yeah.
we knew, and we were scouting out who the best potential pledges were, and then we'd get them to Anchor Splash. And I remember those, because that was the fact that you're getting kids to come to school, and I can say kids now because I'm old, but getting kids to come there a month before school starts for a pledge,
Yeah.
a rush event,
Right.
a big deal. So I remember that. And look, I just remember the friends that you had in the fraternity, and everybody was a little bit different, of course, and that's what makes Sigma Chi so great. But two of the people that I went to school with and pledged with and got initiated with were in my wedding.
Wow.
And obviously still friends with them today, and I think that's a big deal too, because it was just different. Sigma Chi felt different. And look, there were some other good chapters on campus. At the time, our rival was the SAEs, and they were good too. But I just felt different being a Sigma Chi. And I think you remember, I actually went to work for the headquarters for 2 years after college.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did you live in that
I
part of
lived in
Illinois?
Evanston,
Yeah.
right next door
Yeah.
to the headquarters, and
We went
so I
by
moved
there.
to Chicago,
Yeah.
straight out of college.
Yeah. That's a nice area.
Yeah, it was great. Loved it, and got to go to a lot of Cubs games. Got to go chicken wings at Buffalo Joe's, and right off the Northwestern campus. It was great.
Yeah, what you were talking about, I remember because I got a job working for when I was DJing. I got a job for Troy because they would pay me to go out and do we went into the Smith Hall courtyard, and I DJ'd for all the orientations. So the incoming freshmen would come in, and I did it for every one of them, orientations. So of course I started talking on the mic about the Sigma Chi's, and of course they got mad. Somebody else got mad.
You can't do that.
And they said, if you say another word about fraternities at all, you're going to be fired. You can't do this anymore. I was like, okay, because of course me and Jim Wyatt, we did Lottie Dottie. We one time, we didn't lip sync, we did it live. Lottie Dottie, we like to party, we don't bother nobody. And Jim Wyatt and I got out there and did it. And of course, all the kids were running up to us, and we were like going, hey, we're Sigma Chi's, you come by the house. And somebody else heard it that was affiliated with one of the other chapters, and they got mad. They got so mad. I thought we were going to get in a fight because they were getting mad about that. So we stopped doing it. We were going to be fair. But
it's funny you said Jim's name, because he was the consul when I came in.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I remember Jim like it was yesterday.
Jimmy Wyatt. Let me tell you something about Jimmy. You say that, it's funny to me because he's a smart guy, very smart, and he stayed in Troy for like 6 years. I'm a dummy, and I was forced to graduate after 4 years. I'm like going, what the hell?
I was done too.
And I was like, what the hell? Yeah. Did I miss something? I was like, oh my gosh.
So another quick Jim story. So years later, and of course, Jim was older than me and looked up to him, and was sometimes afraid of the seniors and people older, or like you guys that had just graduated. Here comes the alumni coming back.
Yeah.
So years later, moved to Nashville, and the coach of a baseball team for what my son at the time was probably 7, 8. I don't know how old he was.
Yeah.
And we're doing the draft. And I don't know who the kids are because I had just moved there, didn't know everybody. And I'm looking at the names, and there's this kid, and he's at tryouts, and last name's Wyatt. And I'm like, man, that guy looks a lot like Jim. Sure enough, it was his son, and he was younger than everybody else. And I'm like, we're getting him on our team because I know his dad's an athlete, and he's going to be scrapping an athlete. And sure enough, and so I reconnected with Jim years later, and Jim helped us out as an assistant coach and all that. And that was just a great way to get to see him again, which was probably, 15, 18 years after Troy.
Yeah. Jim was he loved school. Obviously, he came up and was going to try to play baseball for the Trojans, but they had a really, really good team, and he was a good athlete, no doubt. Yeah. But he didn't make. He decided to not stay on as a walk on, and he got involved with all intramurals. And Jim immediately became our quarterback. Yep. He's short like I am, but he could scramble around, and that's when we really started winning. The year before that, before I started picking up, and that's when we first won the Greek championship.
Yeah.
And then the next year we won all sports for the whole campus intramurals, and that's when we knew we were on our way.
Including beating all the independents.
Oh yeah.
Beating everybody.
Yeah, but I laughed because my first year playing the flag football, I was like, I just played high school ball. I wasn't worried about it, but it was wide open, full contact. And I just remember going, oh my God, I need to be mentally prepared for this because it was.
And that changed
knocked around
while you were in school there.
Yep.
They changed that in about probably, I don't know, 84-ish.
My third year. Yeah, my
Yeah.
third year, the third year of playing, they start off and we couldn't do any certain contact anymore, which was fine. I mean, but even when they did contact, it wasn't major. But I remember we were playing Delta Chi, and they barely beat us. That's the toughest we ever played. And I was running across the field, and some big kid that was playing center for them took me out.
Oh,
And I remember going, from then on, I just got up. I said, okay, all right, I need to be aware I could be hit. Right?
Yep.
And then I started focusing more on that than really the other part of the game. I started hitting people too, as little as I am, but it was
I don't
fun.
want to be hit like that again.
Yeah, really. And then, going and watching the basketball guys play, Wes, Barry Golden, Wes Spicer and John Weekly, Jay Davis. We were a good team, man. And I remember we beat SAEs to win the championship.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. Listen, me and Ron Wepley, you know Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Ron, we used to go and party with the SAEs. We would go to their house and sit and drink with them, play
Hang out with them.
Yeah, I mean, they had some good guys. And then we used to go to a couple of them, the older guys, they would take challenge, and we go back. They living in an apartment, or I think it was a trailer off campus.
Dozier Trailer Park.
Yeah, and we went to play some drinking game, and they won, we won. We'd do it every week on a Thursday night. It was fun. That's part of school that was so easy, when your mom and dad's not waiting for you to get home, so you had all kind of freedom, to
Exactly. What I do with all this extra time now?
Yeah, really, I know, right? Everything goes, but Troy was fun. I know,
It was wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, man.
I was going to go to the University of Georgia, being from Atlanta, and got a scholarship to Troy, and don't regret any moment of it. Met my wife there, and the rest is history. So
and that's awesome. But the thing that cracks me up, and if you saw my podcast talking about Sigma Chi, what really makes me disappointed sometimes, and I get why, but a lot of people, when you tell them you're in a fraternity, they think negative things. Like,
right.
You just partied and got arrested, and we took pride in looking out for each other, giving respect to the community, doing all those things that really, all those, not C is in my brain yet, civilian, what is it called? Like
independence, or
yes, or like Key Club and all those.
Oh yeah. Kiwanis, or
yeah, but they were community based, and we did a lot of things that got involved.
Right.
I remember we used to go to we were nursing homes and hang out with the people there,
the
visiting,
patients,
just hang out there, just things like that, and plus, we had that bond. We were related to Christianity, so it tied everybody together in that fact.
Right.
And just was fun.
I still wear that ring every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and people will ask, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And I proudly tell them my fraternity.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because with me, over the years, my work buddies and local buddies, they don't rag the chapter anymore.
Right.
Or fraternities anymore. They see how they don't even rag me when I'm wearing a Sigma Chi. They used to go, Sigma Chi, that was 40 years ago. What are you still wearing it for? and now they don't. We're
still on it.
Yeah, they get it. So, yeah, it was awesome, man. Well, bro, man, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. This is wonderful.
I appreciate you coming by to see me. Everybody else is welcome to come, but you can't stay the night.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I'm not. I'm
No, he's
here on
not.
business, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a later flight on Friday night, get back to Illinois, I don't know, 9 o'clock tonight. Who cares?
I'm
And
glad
wanted to
you
come
did.
see Jackie Mitchell.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, brother.
Well, hey, cheers.
Love you, man.
Good seeing you, man.
You
Love you.
bet. You bet.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
See what's up next, guys. Thanks.